There we go. Well, good morning, folks, from my side. Today's topic is creating a one-page website. And I thought I'll first do a bit of an introduction before I am going to go to my test website and show you how to create one. So what is a one-page site? Of course, a one-page website contains all the most important details or everything you need to share with visitors in one location, in one spot. And one of the things I thought I'll chat about first is what to include, because it all depends, of course, on what type of website you have. But I think it's important to have an about section or a section about your company or the history of your product or your company. Then to also have an area about or a section about the services you provide, or to share your portfolio or to showcase whatever you bring to the table. Some folks also add testimonials or a section about frequently asked questions. And then I think one of the important things is to have a contact form, as you want people to, of course, take action. You want a call to action, and a contact form is a great way to do that. And then I would also advise to have social media integration so that you can connect with folks via your social media platforms as well. Now, one of the things I also wanted to highlight is that single-page websites are versatile. It's not just one. There's not just one type of one-page website, right? Businesses, even larger businesses, but maybe more small businesses, can go for a single-page website. Some restaurants, especially freelancers, small agencies, photographers, and then you will also find that many campaigns or events use single-page websites. I've, of course, also seen like a wedding invitation sent out using a single-page website as well. So, yeah, with that in mind, let's go and explore. I first wanted to show you an example of a one-page website that I found, and then I'll show you the one that I created, and then we will go ahead and recreate it. Okay, so the single-page website that I wanted to share with you today is called Cook Collective, and it's actually like a shared kitchen that you can rent in New York. So let's see what they have on their single-page website. So, of course, here at the top, you can see it's shared kitchen by food industry people for food industry people. So you have this feature image. And then if you scroll down, of course, the who we are or the about section that I spoke about. And if you scroll down a bit, we can see what they offer. So they've got 8 customizable preparation stations, fully licensed and equipped. And then it talks a bit more about the infrastructure, the equipment, the services. And then, of course, there's a call to action. And then you've got another image with a bit of a slogan. And then they also actually share who they partner with, people that probably use their facilities. And then at the bottom, how to apply. And then, of course, there's a booking form. And that is it. And then, of course, your footer. And of course, they've also added a sign up for updates section in their footer, which is also a good idea. But now, of course, the one thing that makes this a single-page website is that there's no other pages. We can't dive deeper into the site. This is it. And if we look at the navigation menu, now usually if you click on one of these, it's usually a page, right? And it takes you away from this page, but these will take you to that section on the page. So if I click on what we offer, we can see it scrolls down. If I click on partners, it scrolls down, and even how to apply takes us here. And I will actually show you how to do that today as well, using targets and anchors. So that is the way we can also achieve that with our single page website. Okay, so that's the example from a live website that I wanted to share with you. And now I'll show you the one that I created and that I will be recreating alongside you today. All right, so I have created a dummy architectural website. So I am a freelance architect or a one-man band, a one-man architect, and I'm going to share my one-page website with the world. It can probably be seen as a portfolio website or whatever it may be. So you will notice I've added a logo. I've got this featured image. And then I've got an about section. I'm on a mission to make architecture more sustainable. And then I've got a whole section about my work. And that's the section I spoke about where you want to share portfolio or to showcase or to talk about your services. For example, if you're a plumber and you've got a plumbing company, you want a section about all the services you provide. All right, so then I've got some images of my work, part of my showcase. And then I've got a section about my process, the process that I follow. You'll see consulting, project management, design, maintenance. And then I end off with get in touch with a contact form. And then at the bottom, I've got my footer and I've added my social media links here. And now, of course, the cool thing, as I showed you, if I click on the About link, it will take me to that section. And if I click on my work, it will take me to that section. All right, so let me show you how you can also achieve this. So I'm going to make my way to my test website. And the first thing I wanted to show you, I am using the 2024 theme. And the great thing about the 2024 theme is that the theme provides a lot of cool patterns and even page patterns. So it was a bit more easy for me to actually build that page using the patterns that the 2024 theme provided. And then if I make my way to the dashboard, I thought we can start from here. So the first thing I am going to do is go to settings and reading. Now, you have a choice to choose between your latest posts, like your homepage displays your latest posts. And then you have an option to add a static page. Now, I'm actually going to leave it on your latest posts. So I'm not even going to change anything here. I'm going to leave it as is. And I'm actually going to go ahead and create a front page template. So I'm not going to create any pages. I'm basically going to build my entire one-page site on my front page template. And that's it. So I won't be creating any posts because I don't have a blog section, and I'm not going to create any pages. I'm just going to create a front page template. So to do that, we need to make our way to appearance and then it will take us to the site editor if we click on editor. And of course, if we are in the site editor, we can usually add a header and a footer to our templates. Now, we don't have a lot of time to go into the nitty-gritties of templates, etc. But as I mentioned, we are going to actually create a front page template. So at the moment, you will notice if I open up my site editor, the template that we see is the blog home template. Okay, and if I click on if I go to templates and I click on blog home, you will notice it says it displays the latest posts as either the site homepage or as the posts page as defined under the reading settings. Now it says, if it exists, the front page template overrides this template when posts are shown on the homepage. So the reason I'm going to create a front page is because it overrides this template. So we don't have to worry about anything else then. If we create our front page template, we can just focus on that. And it will override, and that will be the front page. That will be the main page that we are going to use for our single page website. All right. So, if you click on templates, you will see there's a plus icon next to templates. We're going to say add template. And here we can add a new template. And here we will then select a front page template. And they've made it easy. They actually provide you with patterns. So I will just select the standard pattern. And now my front page template is created. And this will be my front page. This will be my single page, right? So we are going to build our one-page website right here in the site editor, and we are not going to be bothered by anything else. Okay, so first things first, let's open our list view. And then we can start at the top. And we're going to start at the top, and we are going to build our header. Okay, so I will click on the 3 vertical dots, and I'm going to select replace header. So the nice thing here is there are header patterns. So of course, I'm going to save time by using the patterns provided. So if I click on replace header, you will actually see the header that I've already created, but imagine that's not there. Then you can scroll through some of the patterns available. Of course, this might look different depending on the theme that you're using. So I am going to select this pattern, and it's called full width header with euro image. Okay, so let's select that header. So that's going to be our header pattern that we are going to select. And now we can start modifying it, right? So the first thing I was going to do is, the great thing is here in the list view, you will see how these blocks are nested. Okay, let me just save this for a moment and refresh. Okay, so let's just open up our list view again. And as I said, if you open your list view, you can see how all these blocks are nested together. All right, so I've already uploaded my logo. And I just basically added my logo to my media library. And I used Canva to create my logo. Now, you can use anything to create a logo, but I'm just showing you this. It's already pulling in my logo because I've already added my site logo to my site. So that's my architectural logo. And then we can see on the right part of this row block is the site title. And I actually don't need this. So I'm going to delete these. I don't want that there. I just want my site logo on the left, and I am going to enlarge this a bit. There we go. And then on the right, you will see my navigation menu. And for now, we are going to leave it as is, and we'll get back to that at the end after we've added our sections. So let's ignore the navigation menu for now. And next, we can go ahead and select the cover block. And let's click on replace in the block toolbar. And I will also select an image that I've already added to my media library. There you can see my logo that I've added. And here's the one that I wanted to add. Great. Next, I'm going to add a columns block within my cover block. So I'm going to nest I'm going to add a columns block here. So I will select the spacer block. We're going to use the spacer block to create more space. And then I'll say add before. So let's say add before. And here in the list view, you can now see that we're adding a block above. So I'm going to say / columns. And let's select 50-50 for now. And then in the right column, we are going to add a heading. And it said an architect with a passion for eco-friendly design. Now, at the moment, I want to push that text to the right a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the left column, open the settings sidebar. Let's change that to %. Sorry. Let's change the unit of measurement, and let's change that to 70. All right. So I've changed the width of the left column, and now the text on the right pushes to the side. And you'll notice I've actually selected an image so that the building is on the left and we've got blue open sky on the right. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, next, let's also look at if we want to. Okay, let's open our styles section. The one thing you'll notice, I have I have not touched the opacity. I wanted the opacity to be 0. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some padding. So let's add some padding. Let's add there, and let's add some more padding on the left and the right. Okay, great. Now it says minimum height of cover here on the right at the bottom. Let's say we want to push that up a bit. Let's say we want to make that 50. We can do that as well. Okay, great. So now let's close it. And there is our header, almost done. I just wanted to enlarge the text of the heading as well. So let's open up our settings again. You can go to size. And if you click on set customize size, we can change this. Let's make this 56 pixels. That looks better. I wanted that text to be larger. All right, so our header is in place. We've got our logo, we've got our featured image, we've got our text, which we've added using a columns block. And as I said, we'll come back to the navigation a bit later. All right, now we get to the content part. Now, you will notice if I click on this group block, my theme have already added all of the dummy text, or basically patterns that come with my theme into this front page template. And we are going to add our own content now. So we are going to remove this. We're going to say delete, delete. Okay, great. So now let's click on our header and say add after. And the first thing that I wanted to add was the about section. So maybe if I look at this, see, we've built this now. So let's add the about section. All right, so I'm first going to add a group block, like a container block. And I'll select the single block. And then I'm going to add a media and text block. Okay, let's first select the group block. All right, wait. I'm actually going to delete this first. Let's say add after. Let's add our media and text block first. Great. All right, and now let's add our image. So this is me, or the fake me. And then on the right, we can add our dummy text. Now, to save time, I've just copied and pasted it into a Word doc so that I don't have to type everything out. So let's just copy that. And let's add our content on the right. Okay, you will notice it's a heading that says on a mission to make architecture more sustainable. And this is also, let's just double check. I wanted this to be 56 pixels as well. So if I go to size, let's make that a bit larger. And then I've added some paragraphs. I want to make sure that's medium. Yep, that is medium. All right, so there's my about section. But now I want to actually add this to a group block. I want to put it into a container block. So I'm just going to click on the 3 vertical dots and say group. And then I will group this. Okay, let's change this to wide width. There we go. Now, the great thing about group blocks now is that you can rename them. So I'm actually going to rename my group block. I'll rename it, and this is, I'm going to call this my about section. All right, so let's save that. Now we've got our about section. So that is a group block. And let's add some padding as well. Let's open our styles and let's add some padding. Great, so that is in place. Our about section is in place. Now we are going to add our second section. So I'm going to say add after. All right. And just to remind you, so there's my about section. I just wanted to check something here. I just want to open up my sidebar settings and check something here. I want to see if I can change my media width and make this a bit smaller. There we go. So I just wanted to make this image a bit smaller. So I went and I opened up my settings sidebar and I changed the media width to 40 instead. All right, let's move on to our next section. And this is the section about my work. And I'm going to use a pattern here provided by my theme. So I'm going to click on the inserter and I'll go to patterns. And the pattern that I'm looking for is actually a portfolio pattern. So if I click on the category portfolio, you will see all of these great patterns that I can use. And you'll see at the bottom, it's called project details. There we go. All right, so at the top, I'm going to add a heading as well. So let's say add before. In my left column, you'll notice I just selected the paragraph and I said add before. So here we can now add a heading and I'm going to say it's my work. And then I'll also change that to the size to 56 pixels. Okay, and I'll select my group block. And then I will also add some padding. So you'll notice that the padding has already been added here. So I'm happy about that. And now we're going to add our images. Okay, so again, we'll select this group block. and we are going to say add after. And again, we're going to add a pattern because I want to add some images. And this theme provides some really cool gallery patterns. So I'll click on patterns again. I'll go to gallery. And here you can see there's a few options here. And I'm going to select the first offset gallery 2 columns pattern. And once inserted, I can then select the images from my media library, which I've already uploaded. So the first one is, there we go. That's the first one. The second one. And I wouldn't mind living in this little house when it's snowing. And then the last one, showing folks how I work, my desk space. Okay, so the one thing you'll notice is that I actually don't have the rounded effect to these images. So at the moment, the pattern provides these rounded effect, the rounded effect because they've added a bit of a radius. So I'm just going to, if I change the radius in my sidebar settings to 0, I can remove that that rounded effect. So for now, I would prefer to remove the radius and make it 0, 0, radius 0, below styles, right? Okay, let's open our list view, select my portfolio images, open styles, and you will notice there's already some padding around here. And now we can move on to the next bit. So I'll click on the 3 vertical dots, say add after. Okay, we've added our images and we've got one more pattern. And again, I'll click on the inserter. And this time I'm looking for a text pattern. So I'll go to the category text and you'll notice there's some cool patterns again. And you'll notice some of them come with my theme and some of them just come with standard WordPress. And again, it's the last one here at the bottom. And of course, I'm not changing the text and stuff now, but as soon as you add a pattern, you usually, you modify it. You add your own content, you can remove things, you can add things, etc. Okay, so there is my pattern added, but I wanted to add some more padding here. So I'm happy with that padding, but I wanted to add some padding to the columns. So let's select the left column and let's add some padding there. And let's select the right column, open our styles, and let's add some padding there. Click save. Now, the one thing I still wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that this is medium. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, cool. So now I've added a section about my work. So this is all my work, some more detail, some images, and then some more detail. But now I actually want to select all of these blocks and group them together. I want them to be one. So I'll hold in Shift and I'll click on all 3 blocks. So it's my work, the images, and this section. And I'll click on the 3 vertical dots and I will say group. And now they're all grouped together nicely. And I can also rename them now. So I'll click on the 3 vertical dots and rename, and I will say my work. Save. I wanted the wide width on all my sections. So let's see. This must be wide width. Correct. Thank you. This should be wide width as well. And this should be wide width as well. Let's see if I close this now. Now, of course, you don't have to add the wide width. You can keep it different. But yeah, all my content is wide width now. So yeah, thank you. I forgot that step. Okay. Now we are going to add a contact page. So let's say add after. And of course, for this, unfortunately, we're going to have to use a plugin. So let me just duplicate this for now. So we are going to make our way to our dashboard. We can make our way to plugins. We can say add new plugin. We can add the new plugin and then we can search contact form. Now, of course, you can choose whichever plugin works for you. For example, contact form 7, contact form by WP Forms, Forminator, Ninja Forms, etc. For today's session, I used the contact form by WP Forms. So as you can see, it's already active. So what I did is I went to my contact form, and then we can say add new. And a lot of these work the same way. And I'll just say, oh, I want the simple contact form, and I'll use that template. And you'll notice it's the name, email, and comment or message. Now, these you need to pay to see these. So what I just decided is I'm going to say, I'll add a number here, but then I'll just change the label to number. And then I'll move it up to below email. And then my form is done. I can say save. And then we can go back to our page, of course. And now I can say / and I can type in form, and it will actually pick up the plugin. And then you can select the form that you created, depending on what plugin you used. And I just wanted to use my simple contact form. And there we go. Okay, so let's first select our navigation menu. All right. And I'm going to remove this privacy policy page, all this terms and conditions. All right. And now we are going to add links to these sections. So let me show you how to do that. So, okay. So the first is we are going to add a link, and then we can label the link. And the first one is, of course, about, right? So we can label it about. And we are going to add a target and an anchor. So the first thing we're going to do is for the URL, we are going to say hashtag. And then we, of course, this is the section we want. So we can say about. Okay, so that's the first step. So we've added the label, the about label. We've added the URL target. And now let's save that. Now let's go to that section that we want to target. Then we will click on advanced in our sidebar settings. There you can see the block name is about, and we are now going to add an HTML anchor. And the only thing you have to do here is give it the same name, and it's about. And then we can save. So let's do it for the second bit as well. And you can see me going through the same process again. Again, let's select our navigation block. Let's add a new link. Let's label it my work. Let's add the target, and that's the target, of course, hashtag my work. Let's save that. Let's go to the section, go to advanced, and for the HTML anchor, we just say my work. It says there, enter a word or two without spaces. So we can save that. And then let's do it for the last one. Again, we select our navigation block, add a new link, and this is called contact. And then hashtag contact. And then let's save. Now, the one thing I forgot, if you go to this group, sorry, my WP forms, I actually did not want to be part of that group. I wanted to be by itself. So I just removed it, as you see, from that group. And then let's group it. And then let's call that group block, let's rename it to contact, save. Right, so we've already done the target. We've targeted that. So let's go to that section, go to advanced. Again, just type in contact. And now click save. Okay, so now let's make our way to the front page. Okay, so let's view site. And here we can see our header in place with our navigation menu. We've got our about section, my work, my portfolio, and my contact form. So the one thing I still forgot to add here is let's add in this block, add before. Let's add a header there, contact. Sorry, a heading. Heading, let's say contact. And let's also say this must be 56. Okay. So let's save that. Let's refresh. Okay, cool. And of course, you wanted to make sure your URLs for your social media pages are in place. You've got your navigation menu in your footer. Now let's see what happens. If I click on about, it takes me to the about section. If I click on my work, it takes me to my work section. And then of course, if I click on contact, it takes me to the contact section. And of course, you achieve that by adding the targets and the anchors as I just showed you. But the interesting thing is you will notice I've added some CSS. I've added some CSS here. So let me show you why I did that. We didn't have time to really get into CSS, but I just wanted to show you this. So if I go to my site editor, appearance editor, and if you go to styles and you say edit styles, there's an option. If you click on the 3 vertical dots there, you will see additional CSS. Now, I've added this CSS to give it a smooth scroll. So if you want to copy this down, you can do that. It's a basic one. It's some basic CSS which you can just add to your site editor and the CSS section. But I'm going to show you what happens if I remove this. So I'm just going to cut it now, save it, and let's go to the front page again. I'm just going to refresh. If I remove the smooth scroll, this is what happens. So let's say about. Do you see it's quite jarring. It doesn't scroll down. It just takes you to that page. Let's try that again. Let's say my work. It just does that. There's no scrolling effect. Same with contact. So that is why I added the smooth scroll to my CSS. So again, let's paste it back. You've got your HTML, curly brackets, and then it just says scroll behavior smooth. And you close your curly bracket or curly braces. Okay, let's save that again. And return, refresh, and hopefully now we've got this smooth scroll. All right, and that is my my one-page site that I created and that I've used to present my business.